Welcome everyone. We're going to kick this off with a reminder from Eddie here about this lesson. He reminds us to drink from the 5 streams of the senses. Wisdom comes not from denying the senses, but from seeking out their origin. So if you'd like to skip ahead and go directly to the reading of the book, please click the blue dots I've provided for you down below. And you know there is a short here on this channel. There's a short video called What is Theosophy? And it is trending. It's got a spike like this. Now that is what is done here. If you want to know what Theosophy is, it is this. This is Theosophy. Eddie has written over 1,000 pages of the perennial philosophy. That is Theosophy, the ancient wisdom. And there is nothing more important for us to do than get it out into the world using modern means and the language of today. And that means social media, TikTok, YouTube. It is funny because the TikToks, I try my best, and it is a tough sell. It is. Everybody wants change, but no one wants to change. These teachings are meant for study, digestion, and application. And the classroom you seek, the classroom is simply you and your life as it is right now. So coming up, we're going to be taking a look at the symbolism of the tarot. That is next week. I'm very much looking forward to that. And today, we're going to dive in further into the symbolism of the forest, Druidic symbols and streams of wisdom, and allegories that epitomize the mystery of human evolution. I love that. I'm very grateful for our new subscribers. Welcome, everyone. Hi there. I love this. This channel has gone through several evolutions. So I think we finally found our feet. I think we have. So we are growing, and I appreciate you. I love you. And if you get anything out of these lessons at all, please like, subscribe, and share, because that's what gets it out into the very crowded YouTube universe. All right. So that's where they're needed. So any help you can give me there would be great, because it's not about me. It's not about Eddie. It's about the ancient teachings, and it's about you. So we can't go wrong with repeating Eddie's mission statement. We said it last week. What is the point of all of this? Why this? The point is, here's his statement here. Your worldly possessions and mortal vestures will pass, but you are a reflection of divine consciousness. You are an immortal being whose growth and splendor knows no limits. Again, I love this so. I love it, love it, love it. Symbolism is the language of the mystery teachings. That is what we are doing here today, and we are continuing through Volume 3. We're on page 9 now of Unfolding Consciousness, Exploring the Living Universe, and the Intelligent Powers in Nature and Humans. That's you, all right? Written down by Dr. Eddie Villamoria. Ebooks are now available. Links are down below. They're only $24.99 in most local currencies. Remember, the audiobooks are on their way. I know I've been saying that. They're coming. And so are condensed versions and paperbacks and study guides and so much more. So this is book study 44. Don't forget, UC Crew, this is all about you. You can get 25% off this very hardback set if you wish by typing I want my copy when you order through the original publisher's website, which is the Shepherd Walwyn website, and I will include the link in the show notes down below. So our yellow post-it study notes for today are, and these are in the corner of the pages, so when you get the books, you can find out where you are. The yellow post-it study notes are, why do forests figure so strongly in Indian epics? And the evolution of consciousness through forms of increasing complexity. That means mineral, all right, plant, animal, human, beyond. Druidic symbols and Druidic streams of wisdom. So let's go for it. Here we go. The symbol of the forest. In the case of the forest, besides the obvious overtone of mental confusion and not seeing the wood for the trees, etc., there is the added meaning of danger from poisonous serpents, deadly beasts, wild demons, which all symbolize the untamed passions and ungoverned thoughts. All right? It's inside us, which literally, like demons, assault our balance and composure and obstruct our life's mission. We're all in a forest of our own. It's true. We find the forest mentioned in several Indian legends, most notably the Ramayana. In this epic, Lord Rama is banished with his consort Sita in the Dandaka and Dandakaranya forest, from where Sita is abducted by the king demon Ravana, which crime precipitates the epic battle of Lanka. Now, significantly, the Dandakaranya translates from Sanskrit approximately to the jungle, aranya, of punishment, dandakas. Now, here we can draw a parallel with the Cretan legend of the Minotaur, insofar as Sita and Ariadne symbolize the spiritual soul, and Rama and Theseus the human soul. But we can't really say that it's fair to equate the Minotaur with Ravana. There is this vital difference, though. In the former, the carnal and sensual passions are innately unbridled and unrestrained, and so literally have to be slaughtered outright. Okay? The latter is more complex, Ravana. Here we have the case of a god, but a demon god. One who through great self-effort and sacrifice acquired all the powers of the gods, but who then became so arrogant as to consider himself invincible, and therefore abused the powers bestowed upon him. This should sound familiar. We can clearly discern the same concept applying to totalitarian dictators on our earth today who acquire virtually unlimited tyrannical power over their people and considering themselves omnipotent and godlike. They abuse their powers, and inevitably, after much bloodshed and drama, their reign of terror is eventually brought to an end. It's true. All tyranny will end, usually by heroic individuals who finally stand up to them, thank God. But whether we talk of the mythological Ravana or the despotic heads of nations, two clear themes emerge, Eddie says here. A, great pride goes with a tremendous fall. And B, supreme power in the truest sense is power over one's self. Again, this is all you need to know if you take nothing else away. Supreme power in the truest sense is power over oneself. In this sense, Ravana and his human equivalents were, character-wise, extremely weak. They lacked mastery over their unbridled passions and ambitions, and occultly speaking, a perfect example of kama manas. Now, you know what kama means. Kama is heavily dominating here. Kama is desire. Now, Deucalion and Pyrrha. We're moving on to Deucalion and Pyrrha. The sequential unfolding of consciousness. Now, this is going to sound very familiar here. One of the famous legends of Greek mythology is that of Deucalion and Pyrrha. After the deluge, the great flood, sent by the gods to destroy the wickedness of mankind at the close of the Iron Age, only Deucalion and Pyrrha were left alive. They entered a ruined sanctuary to pray. And there they were directed by an oracle to leave the temple, and with their heads veiled and garments unbound, they cast behind them the bones of their mother. Now, interpreting the cryptic message of the god to mean that Earth was the great mother of all creatures, Deucalion picked up loose rocks, and bidding Pyrrha to do the same, they cast behind them, and these rocks, like this, and from these rocks there sprang forth a new, strong and sturdy race of human beings, the rocks thrown by Deucalion becoming men, and those thrown by Pyrrha becoming women. Race does not mean ethnicity, simply a wave of humanity. This legend shows how the divine being, through nature, reveals proof, symbolic proofs of approaching crucial events, both favorable and dire and ominous, good and bad. Moreover, this allegory, Eddie says, embodies the mystery of human evolution. For spirit, by ensouling matter, that's spirit ensouling matter, which is called involution, spirit ensouling matter becomes that indwelling power which gradually but continually raises, which is evolution, the mineral to the status of the plant to the plane of the animal to the dignity of man, and man to the estate of the gods. This allegory conveys a similar moral to the proverb, I slept in the stone, I stirred in the plant, I dreamt in the animal, and I awoke in man. This is obviously not saying that stones and plants and animals are all the same as humans. It is affirming, what is Theosophy? It is affirming that the same self-consciousness seeks newer and subtler forms for evolution and self-expression through different bodies, ranging from the mineral kingdom to the human kingdom and beyond. Different versions from sources in the East and the West conveying the same essential meaning of the proverb are given in a later chapter in this text to demonstrate unfolding consciousness, says a recurrent theme about the fundamental unity of the perennial philosophy from all kinds of different sources across the globe. So let's move on to the fish and the pool. The fish and the pool, enjoying the world, but seeking its source. The symbol of the fish is found in the sacred traditions of both East and West. In India, Matsya is the fish avatar of Vishnu, the second person of the Hindu Trinity, that's Matsya, in the form of a fish. In one version of the legend of Matsya, he forewarns Manu, which is the primordial early man or the progenitor of mankind. It's where we came from, about an impending flood, and orders him to collect all the grains of the world and all living creatures to be preserved in a boat. The remarkable similarity of this legend to that of Noah's Ark, and also in one sense to that of Deucalion and Pyrrha that we just covered, is another fitting demonstration of the self-consistency and universality of symbolism used to explain esoteric knowledge and spiritual truths. In the Druidic traditions of the West, Eddie is saying here, the salmon is a symbol of constant renewal and seeking the source of all existence. The salmon returns to source, to rivers from the ocean, and swims upstream to their original hatching place to lay and fertilize their eggs before they die. Swimming upstream is a strenuous activity, so only the strongest fish can complete this journey and spawn the next generation of salmon. An inborn sense of smell is believed to guide each species of salmon to its original hatching grounds. Now, this symbolizes the fearless philosopher, that's you, who must inevitably face an uphill struggle, it's uphill all the way, to seek out and unite with the source of his being, which he always understands resides within himself. Despite all the temptations of earthly life that may defect his resolve, the survival of the spiritually fittest. Another symbol in the Druidic and other traditions is the silent pool fed by 4 underground streams and flowing out through 5 streams. Here, the 5 streams symbolize the 5 senses, and the message is that man, since he happens to be born on earth, should and must experience his 5 senses to the fullest. All right? He must also seek out their origin, their silent origin. This idea is in contrast to some excessively strict practices, especially Indian, that have lost their vitality. These defunct traditions seek to deny or diminish the life of the senses. That's sight, sound, taste, touch, and hearing, right? Yep. Instead of understanding their appropriate role and function. This is how we experience life on earth. Problems do not arise from the experience of the senses, but when sensate, meaning sensual or sensing, experience becomes an end to itself. Okay, so again, let's say that problems do not arise from experiencing the senses, but when sensual experience becomes an end in itself, and we've all been there. What do the 4 underground streams that feed the living origin symbolize? In the Druidic tradition, stating in modern terms, they are A, the narrative of legend and folklore, B, the universality of the perennial tradition, always one in essence, but clothed in different forms according to the age and culture, the perennial philosophy. C, an understanding of the transpersonal nature of man, and D, personal gnosis, personal knowledge being the individual insights and teachings to which each person has access. That's why you're here. Listen, the last stream is the bane or the thorn in the side of academia, which is why gatekeepers of scholarship prefer to bar any entry to personal knowledge of spiritual mysteries. Eddie says here, for it is impossible to verify via peer reviews or scientific protocols the insights that an individual has accessed from within himself. That can never be taken from you. All that can be done is to quote the sources of personal study. But scholarship is not the same as insight. The former, scholarship, engages the intellect, ideally suited to academic circles. However, the latter, which is insight, draws upon intuition, and so it can be nailed down intellectually most uncomfortably, if at all. On that note, however, Ken Wilber suggests a method of interactive validation. In The Marriage of the Sense and Soul, which is a book that came out not too long ago, Ken reasons that the spiritual, personal, subjective world of ancient wisdom could be teamed up with the objective, empirical world of modern knowledge by adopting thoughtful, meditative disciplines related to spirit. Now hear me out, like meditation, and then assigning that with the context of what he calls broad science, which includes evidence from logic, mathematics, and symbolics, and hermeneutical, which Eddie is using here, which means the study of the techniques and methods and principles of interpretation. So we're adding that to meditation, interpretation into meditation and other realms of consciousness. I love this so much. I'm so grateful for these. I love being here with you. I get to learn too. We are studying from Unfolding Consciousness. We're actually reading the book. And then there's a little bit of commentary from me, but I am a student as well. We're just doing this together. Unfolding Consciousness, Exploring the Living Universe and the Intelligent Powers in Nature and Humans, written down by Dr. Eddie Bellamoria. Next week, we move into the Symbolism of the Tarot. Very much looking forward to that. We're doing it in little bitty chunks. There are 2 playlists on here, one from the beginning when I started this, it's going back a year. And then I also put up a playlist of just our favorite, which is Death is Transition, Time at the Door of Eternity. So that's on a playlist as well. And coming up next week, we kick off a series with Tim Wyatt on death. So we're going to be doing next Friday will be death, the actual death, our feelings about death and grief and all that, the dying process. Then we have after death states, the Friday after that, after death states, what happens when we die. And then we're going into reincarnation and karma. And then right before Halloween, we will have proof and evidence of reincarnation. And we'll be going again into specters, spooks, the Mayavi Rupa, what are ghosts, that kind of thing with Tim Wyatt. He's written 2 books called Cycles of Eternity and Everyone's Book of the Dead. So that's another series happening here. And Academy Sophia will be kicking off in 2024. We're going to be using meditation as a way to learn the ancient teachings. So it'll be a passive way of learning rather than just my talking head here reading to you. So I love you very much. Thank you so much for being here. You are everything to me. I love these Sundays with you. Thank you. Mwah.